You're listening to episode 26 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast, Bounders of Color with Felicia. Hey, Dis friends. Welcome to episode 26 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. I am your host, June. We are at episode 26. We are 6 months into this, y'all. I could have never imagined that I would make it this far. I know I need to have more faith in myself, but for real, this has been a labor of love, but I have enjoyed every moment of it. And I just want to thank you all for sticking along for the ride. And I'm so excited to see what more will come from this. I am so excited for all the growth that's happened in the last 6 months with this platform and with myself. I think I sound less like a robot. Y'all tell me if y'all agree. But I really am just happy with this journey, and I'm happy with this whole undertaking, and I really hope that I can rise to the occasion and continue to bring quality content to you all, and to continue to grow this platform, to highlight these voices and highlight these people that have brought joy to my life. And I hope that they are bringing joy to your lives as well. So thank you all for sticking around. And if you're new to this show, stay tuned. There's so much greatness that I have planned for you all. So this week was my boy's birthday. My little guy turned 4, and so I have been on a pseudo vacation from the world, because as a mother, when it's your child's birthday, it's also a victory lap for yourself, because raising kids ain't easy, and it's always a great feeling to celebrate another year of keeping them in the running to becoming a productive human in this world. So we had a great weekend. We didn't do anything Disney related, and I was totally fine with that. Well, somewhat fine with that. I would never pass up a Disney trip, but we had a great time together. I have fully realized that he has adopted my sweet tooth, so I need to keep an eye on that. But otherwise, it was just a great weekend. And so that's what I was busy doing all weekend. But on Monday, the most recent Frozen trailer came out, and I was feeling feelings. Good feelings. I would consider myself a latecomer to the Frozen bandwagon. The movie came out around a time where I was not here for the earworm that was Let It Go, because I had a 3-year-old at the time. I believe my daughter was 3, and I was not just in the headspace to have her singing it to the rafters nonstop. So I kind of avoided it for quite some time. But when the time came to get into the movie, I thought it was cute. I wasn't really like, oh, this spoke to me. But as time went on, I did start getting on the bandwagon and starting to love this movie. And I'd say I'm maybe 80% there now. After seeing the Broadway show, it kind of took it up a notch. So maybe I'll say I'm 85% right now. But seeing this trailer, well, actually seeing the very first trailer, my jaw was on the floor. And now seeing this trailer got me even more hyped for this movie. And y'all know me, I'm not even going to front. The moment that made my heart skip a beat was when the character voiced by Mr. Sterling K. Brown came through. I don't even know what he said. He said, "How did you get here?" And I was like, whoo, hey bruh, what's up? How did you get here? So I'm here for all of everything that is Frozen, but I'm very excited to see what Mr. Brown has to say. And I also want to know who these people are. I'm pretty sure they have a lot to do with Elsa and her frozen powers. So we will see what this movie is also about. I did just read a commentary that speculates that this movie is going to go along the Marvel pathway with X-Men, and how Elsa is going to be the Disney Queen version of Jean Grey. And I'm actually would be very interested to see that. So who knows what this whole storyline is going to do, but I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be there November 22nd. We will be there opening night, and we will be very excited to see everything that unfolds in this new sector of Arendelle. Is it Arendelle? Maybe. The Mistland? Wherever it's called, we'll be here for it. So that's my 2 cents. This week's guest is Felicia. She is a third-generation Disney lover, and she currently resides in California. She is an OG Disneybounder, and she's one of the mods over at the Bounders of Color Instagram page. She is a fashionista, like she be coming through with the looks. Check her page. I'm not even lying. She's also a con queen, and she is one of the sweetest people I have ever met. I finally got to meet Felicia when I was in Disneyland for the D23 Expo, and we got to spend some time together at the D23 meetup that I hosted, as well as at the Expo, and we had such a blast, and I cannot wait to hang out with her again. And so without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Felicia. Hello, Felicia. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I probably have been listening since the beginning of this, so I've just been like listening to all these people's like perspectives, and I'm so excited I get to share mine today.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on. I love what you do. I love Boundaries of Color as well. And I'm excited to have you on as another voice in the
Oh,
community.
thank you. Well, Bounders of Color adores you. Are you kidding me? Every Disney bound you kill, and it's hard not to want to share each one. We're like, is this just gonna be turned into the June fan page? I'm like, I can't. Sometimes I like have to like look away. I'm like, no, don't do it.
Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all for the support. I really appreciate it. Because, bounding can be, as fun as it is, it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I am a Southern California local. I was raised here, but not born here. I was born in Texas and lived in Tennessee for a little bit before finally settling to California. My whole family's here. And I am a third generation Disney lover. It all started with my grandma. She loves Disney, and um, she started taking my mom to the parks when she was little because she worked for General Motors, and they would host them at the park, like these corporate parties at Disneyland. And she would take like my mom and like her siblings to the park. So my mom grew up going to Disneyland in the late 60s. And then from there, my mom was a Disney fan, Disney lover, and she even had her honeymoon in Disneyland with my dad. So if you can't tell, they just passed on that love of Disney to me, and I've been going to the parks ever since.
So you may have been conceived in Disney. Is that possible?
Maybe. Mom confirmed this.
A Disney zygote. That would be awesome.
Oh no.
That's so cool. So your love of Disney started probably from the womb. Um, do you have a favorite Disney movie or show?
Oh yeah, Mulan is number one. She's supreme. My mom showed me Mulan. I think we watched it in the theaters, but since watching it, I begged my mom to like dress me up as Mulan every year for Halloween. So I have pictures of like her putting together. There were no Mulan costumes like at the Disney store. She had to like make one from scratch. Like she like got like this like skirt that she had made, and then she got a shirt from my grandmother in Vietnam so I could wear and kind of like have that like oriental vibe on it. And then I remember she had a parasol, and that was like my first Mulan outfit. And you could say technically I was bounding as Mulan because it was just all these like mixed in elements. So my first bound was probably when I was 5. And then after that, I think Disney Store finally started getting those costumes in, and I wore it every year in elementary
Mhm.
school.
I feel you. I feel you. Wow. Okay. So your mom, she knew what she was doing.
Well,
She had,
she says she taught me how to read from Disney movies. She would get those little VHSs and like show them to me without the cover, and she'd ask me like what movie is which.
oh, that's amazing. I need to start adopting that. Maybe put on the subtitles and just like have my
Yes.
little one watch it. I mean, he pretty much reads kind of that way too. I think he learned his letters on one trip we went because we were waiting to meet Mickey, and the line was so long that we were looking at the pictures on the wall, and we were like, "What letter is this? What letter is that?" And he pretty much learned his alphabet while we were
Oh
waiting
my
online.
gosh.
So, I mean, people don't realize Disney can be, a real
Yeah,
good
like
thing for
an
kids.
educational tool. Yeah, like you like watch those things and like, your kids are like taking it in, and that's to me like why it's so important, and like which movies you show them because they're learning like in the process.
Exactly, and they don't know they're learning when they're having fun.
It's true.
So, do you have a particular character or characters that you identify with the most?
I would say in recent years it has been Coco. I It's hard not to mention Coco when you are Mexican because it like that story, like that town looks very similar to the town that my grandfather grew up in. Just like those like little like pueblas with the little like houses and stuff like that. And walking through there, you're like, this is the research that was done to make Coco like is incredible. And the Coco came out the year after my grandma passed away. And so like even thinking about it now, like that really resonated with me, like seeing like that abuela just being like so strong-willed as she is to the point where she's like throwing her chancla. I'm like, I know that well. I know what being a scared of a shoe is real.
Oh yeah. Have you been back to Mexico recently?
Um, I went to Mexico in not this year, I believe 2017 or 2018. And that was like to go back to my grandma's house that she had lived in, like after she passed away. And we like collected some of her things out there, and kind of was nice to like meet some friends of hers in Mexico that I had never met before. Because before that trip to Mexico, I hadn't been in at least like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So my grandmother just passed in January, and it's crazy how much you learn after, someone passes. And so, we had to do something similar. My grandmother is originally from Jamaica, so we had to go back home, go to her house, and kind of like, you know, go through her things and just, tie up loose ends. And it's amazing the things that you learn. Like my mom never thought to tell me like, oh, your grandmother and your grandfather used to own this and this and that. And, this happened and this used to be all farmland that, we used to grow up
Wow.
on. And I was like, oh, okay. It's
You're
a
like,
lot,
when did this happen?
it's like I mean, I would love to go visit more often, but it's just amazing what you learn after the fact. And for whatever reason, people just don't realize it's important information to share, um, or whatnot. But I've learned so much more about my family in that one little trip, than, decades.
Yeah. Well, it's not something they used to like bring up, you know. Usually it's just like the usual, like, how are you doing? Let me take care of you, stuff like that. But it's not like, let me tell you about like the life I've lived in like another land, you know, and like the people that I've interacted with and the things I did back then. Like sometimes they'll tell like little stories, but it's not like you don't know until you're there.
Right. And that makes Coco such a great movie to think about because, it's all about family and history and traditions and passing things down. And a lot of times, I don't know if we remember, like, even these little things are important to pass down, and not just your version of the story. Like, you should make sure that all versions of the story are passed down, so
Yes.
you're not just getting this one-sided point of view of your
Right.
family history. So, Coco is really good for that, for reminding you that, family traditions and, making time for each other is so important. So I like that movie a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you love to Disney Bound. And is that the only way you like to express your fandom?
I also cosplay. I used to be before Disney Bounding, I was cosplaying more and just kind of fell out of it, just wasn't keeping up with it. But like now recently I've been like trying to like get back into it and like cosplay more. I'm such a crazy convention goer. I've been going to San Diego Comic-Con for 11 years now.
Yes. And I saw your last Comic Con and I was like on the floor. You guys got to go to the Marvel panel?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
Like, holy smokes. Like, what? Oh my God. If I was there, you would have to drag me out there. I would have been passed out on the floor. Like, done. Done.
Oh, I lose my voice in that room because I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. But like everyone else around you is collectively screaming. Like someone new comes out, you're like, ah, like I just saw like Salma Hayek. She came out in that panel. I like lost my crap. I was like, this is not happening right now. Like you just like see and hear all these announcements. Like you just like people are like standing out of their chairs, like standing ovations for people. The energy in that room is like indescribable. Like you just camped out with these people because that's the only way you could get in now is camping out. So you have camped out with these people for 2 days and then you make it in the room and like everyone is just like this crazy like anticipation to the panel and then leading up to it you're like this is why I'm here. I'm reminded again, like how like epic and amazing like these announcements are, and like the movies you see, like seeing like these actors that like bring the characters to life. And like to me, I love directors, so I love like hearing like the director's perspective and like kind of talking about like their inspiration or where they're planning to take a movie. So stuff like that is like really fun to witness in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I loved following it and just seeing they hit hard this time. Like they did not come to play. I was like, what are they leaving for D23 if they're announcing all of
I
this
said the
information
same thing.
now? I was like, what? And then for them to come out with Blade, it was
Yes.
like, what? Oh my God. I can't. I cannot think about it. Every time I think about it, I want to melt.
That was like a mic drop. Like I kept telling my friends like around me, I was like, I think they're gonna announce Blade. And they're like, no, you're crazy. And I was like, I'm just saying, like, you know, I've like heard things around and like I feel like it's coming and like everyone thought I was crazy. And then they announced it, everyone collectively looks at me, they're like, oh, it is. And I'm like, and it's Mahershala? Stop.
Like, I mean, I'm not even ready. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't, I'm speechless. I'm so excited for that. And oh my, I just can't imagine what the energy in the room was like when they announced that because
Yeah. Yeah.
that is big.
Standing ovation. People were just like they could not believe they're like it was already announcement after announcement and like seeing these people was so exciting and just to have like Mahershala just kind of like, oh, so I brought my own hat. Like I'm not wearing the hat all of you guys are wearing and you're like, wait, what is he gonna do? Like
Hmm.
and then just like the little like ode to Blade at the top of his hat and that's it. Like the lights went dark and we're like, this is it? Like it was just like I think I have it filmed. It's just like Blade and then everything goes dark and it was like what just happened?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Marvel got all my coins. I'm gonna be working overtime just to keep up
So
with the Marvel habit. Forget
oh
Disney.
my gosh. No, same. Marvel is probably like the one of the only like movie anytime those movies come out, those are probably the only ones I actually like will go out to see in theater, like opening night with all my nerd friends.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Like, I'm so excited to see what they have in store. I just got my Disney Plus membership. I
Oh,
was
me too. They suckered me in at D23.
So I held out. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. And I was like, I'm gonna do the little, Netflix, Hulu finesse, and then, all go in on one membership. But I was like, I don't want to take that chance because if I can't share membership with someone else, I'm gonna be really upset that I missed out on this deal. So I bit the bullet. I bought it. That's the first membership I've ever purchased of any streaming
Me
service.
too. Shut up. Are you kidding me? I borrow my friend's HBO. I have my auntie's Netflix. Like,
Never that. I'm like, yeah, you gonna catch me slipping, but
no,
I was slipping.
yeah. Disney Plus, like all those announcements, they were just slowly like reeling me in more and more. I heard that Lizzie McGuire announcement, and that's my favorite Disney show. So I was like, oh, Lizzie McGuire is gonna be on it. Okay, I think you're gonna take my money now.
Uh, for me, it was like the Proud Family reboot, and then like I'm seeing all this fan art, and I'm like, I need to be a part of this. I got to see what y'all have planned, and then just all the vault stuff. Like, I mean, I'm pretty good at getting a lot of the Disney movies for my kids to watch, but the fact that it's gonna be at the at the tip of your fingers, I can't. I have to be there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So.
Yeah, especially with some of those classics that are just like hard to find and stuff because Netflix only has so many, Hulu has a couple and stuff, and it's been awesome to see like all the 90s movies again, like Hercules, I've rewatched Pocahontas, but like if you think back to like probably like Fox and the Hound, I don't think has ever been on there, stuff like that, like movies you've probably forgotten about or have never even seen. I know so many people who've never seen Peter Pan. Some of those deserve a watch.
Yeah, like everyone knows that I'm not big on the old school Disney movies, but if it's on Disney Plus, I will take a weekend and I will try to go through as many as possible.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many of them do not hold up.
Yeah. Very true. But I figure like I'll watch it with the kids. I'll see what their opinion is of it as children, and we'll work our way through the whole collection. I was saying I needed to take vacation. I took vacation at the wrong time because I
You need that Disney Plus vacation in November. That's the
yes.
real.
Whoa, it's intense. I'm excited. I can't wait to see like just everything that they're gonna have. And they said they're gonna have 80% of the content that they have planned like ready to go. And I think that is amazing. Like it's gonna be a situation. People gonna be calling out of work. Productivity
Yep.
is gonna be. I just want to see like the reports on productivity after this comes out. Like,
Like that site better not crash. All of us are going to be thinking the same thing.
yep, yep. Because Disney IT, yeah, you got to side eye it a
Let's
lot,
not talk about the D23 reservation system.
girl, girl. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, yeah. They got to work on that. Maybe next year they'll get it a little bit better, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, Disney Plus
Have
is gonna
time.
be a whole thing. We should probably start like a Facebook group where we just like
Oh
dissect like
my,
what to watch
yeah.
when.
Should have like a show watching party. Like we just pick one of the original like Disney Channel original movies, like Johnny Tsunami or something. I'm like, are we all gonna watch this now?
Yes, let's all watch. Let's all reminisce.
Yeah.
Twitches, I know is gonna be on repeat.
Witches.
My
Yes.
daughter loves Twitches. Like she
My
loves that
God.
movie, those movies, both of them, and I know that's gonna be on repeat. And then my little
Be
guy,
so happy.
yeah, like I said, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm happy. I'm excited. I know that they don't even know I got the subscription. So once they find out, it
Oh
just
my
pops up.
gosh.
It's gonna be amazing. That might be their Christmas gift.
Surprise. There you go. Oh, there you go. I got this for you. I did
Exactly.
not keep at D23.
Exactly. Merry Christmas. Leave me alone.
Go watch Twitches 10
Right.
times.
So you are a California girl and you're near Disneyland. So how often do you get to go out to the parks?
So I actually live in the San Fernando Valley, which is more north of where Anaheim Disneyland is at. So I'm approximately an hour away, depending on traffic, because I did brave Friday night traffic before to get there, and it could take almost 2 hours, depending on how that looks like. On a good day, it could take 45 minutes, but we'll always like guarantee an hour. So most of the time, I try to go at least like once every 2 weeks, and most of the time that's a weekend. I do work during the week, so probably like Sundays are my best day to go if I have a random weekday off. However, I can manage it. I'll do like a weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I wish someday maybe. I've been thinking hard about moving to the West Coast to be closer to Disneyland or something. Like, I mean, like, yeah, that's the whole reason to move, right? Just to be close
Yes,
to a theme park.
just be close to a park.
I mean, it was our first like full trip to Disneyland, and the kids absolutely loved it. They could not get enough of Disney California Adventure, and we legit did 4 rides, and they were enamored. Like,
Oh,
Incredicoaster has my daughter's heart, and
great.
I mean maybe because my son is getting a little bit older, he's remembering more, but Toy Story Mania was his jam. He was like, "Can we go back on?" I tried to do it as many times as we could. My daughter did Incredicoaster maybe about 9 times. And
Wow.
yeah, it's like literally back to back to back. She found out about single rider, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're 7, you can ride by yourself." She was like, "Bye, I'm
She's like, I'm gonna
there."
get it all.
She was on it.
Oh man, I was a shorty. I'm still very short. But I don't think I was allowed to go on California Screaming until I was 10, I think. And I
Yeah.
think I even before that I was sneaking on. I would like get on my tippy toes. I was doing ballet at the time, so I'd like get at the top of my tippy toes and just like fake it so I could like make the height requirements. There are so many rides I could not get on until I was 10.
Oh, that's my little guy. He's so small. So yeah, he has several years to go before he's actually gonna get on most things. Like Toy Story Mania might have been one of the only 2 rides that he can get on anyway in Disney California Adventure. So that's probably why he loved it so much. But
Oh,
yeah, that was his. But I'm glad that he loved the few rides that he was able to get on. But yeah,
yeah. Well,
they're
Toy Story
DCA.
Mania is so fun because it's so interactive, you know? So, like, the kids are like, I need to get a new high score and stuff like that. So
Oh
I see
yeah.
it.
I'm competitive too. Like I'm riding with a 3-year-old and I'm like, "How is your accuracy better than mine?" Oh no, I need to get step my game up. What am I doing wrong? Like I'm playing with a 3-year-old. Like, girl, calm down, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I
You're like, I need to have at least 35% accuracy by the end of this ride.
Exactly. I was like, "What? Wait, but he's not even aiming. Like how is his accuracy better than mine?" Like, no, we can't do that. So yeah, I need help, but it's okay. So have you ever been to Walt Disney World?
I have. I went for the first time, I think when I was probably 10, I think 10 or 11. And I have an aunt at the time who was living in Tampa. So my mom and I flew out. We made our first trip to Walt Disney World, but we only went to MGM at the time and Epcot. We chose to do two. And then I went again in, I think, 2017 as well, and I did Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So I've done each park once.
Oh, we got to get you back out there, girl.
Yeah, I know. You're like, what? You went to Hollywood Studios when it's MGM?
Yes, we got to. Well, now it's like it's a whole situation out there now, Hollywood Studios, especially since,
They
Galaxy's
have
Edge is
Galaxy's
open.
Edge, yeah.
So don't worry, I'm gonna figure it out. We all gonna make a group trip. It's gonna be great. It's fun.
Yes, I need to make it back. I'm hoping I could try to go back. Maybe I heard the off season is January and it's cooler. I have family in Florida, so I go to Florida at least every year, but they live down in South Florida. They're like closer to Miami, and I'm always like, can I make this into a Disney trip? Do I fly into Orlando and then make that like crazy 4 hour drive down to South Florida? I'm like, hmm.
You know what? I would go to Miami first, and when coming back, try to fly out of Orlando because you're not gonna want to leave. You're not gonna want to leave to go see your family
Yeah,
when you
that's
get
true.
there. So you
Plus,
should.
I be coming from it high, like being at the parks and then like driving down.
Right. So go see your family first, get that out the way, and then come up to Orlando, enjoy, and then fly out from there. I've done that once, and it was the best. It was the best. So
Okay.
that's what I suggest.
Well, I'm glad I have the tips. So
Yes,
I have to make this happen now.
yes. And there was like the other day, the flights weren't actually that bad. I'm regretting not going straight to Orlando from California when we from after the expo because like I checked maybe like 25 hours too
Mm.
late um from booking my flight, but it was like a $90 flight from California to Orlando and I
What?
was like
God. Oh,
yeah, I was like dang, I really missed out on an amazing opportunity, but now I know. Now I know. Always check before you do
I
a round
know.
trip flight. So now I know.
Definitely. And those flights are always like fluctuating too. So if you're just looking at the right time, you could definitely find a really cheap flight there.
Exactly. So that's gonna be my next thing. I definitely have to try the six parks one day challenge.
Ah, yes. I just saw Erica do it, right? She did four parks.
Yeah, she
I
did
was
four
like,
parks.
that's intense.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't know if I can handle it.
I feel like since you haven't really been in a while, definitely don't try that. Do that once you've like got Walt Disney World under your belt. You're not gonna be upset for missing anything, and definitely you need like a day or two off afterwards because it is rough. It's rough. It's not as magical as you would hope.
Yeah, no, all that walking and then trying to take each bus or monorail or what to get to each park, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
have
lot.
to like account for that transportation time.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's exciting to do, but it is a lot at the end of the day.
I'm spoiled because I have DCA right across Disneyland. So if I want to park hop, I just walk on over.
I mean, it's so amazing. Like I was like, wow, because I was hanging with someone and then they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over here real quick," and then I was like, "What do you mean real quick?" Because I'm thinking in Walt Disney World, miles,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, "Wait, it is right there. You can literally just hop back and forth between
Yep.
parks and get so much done and like not miss out on anything. Like you can strategize, but you really don't have to be that savvy because it's right there. I'm like, wow, you can like finish up World of Color and hop over and actually catch the fireworks and
Yeah.
Fantasmic at that. Oh,
Yep.
wow. That's amazing. So props to Disneyland for that. For real.
They're smart. They know to close DCA early, so everyone just like hops on over to Disneyland that stays open till midnight. So you can like close out like the last 3 hours in that park.
Exactly. Exactly. And staggering it helps with traffic and like now you give some more coins to Disneyland. So it's really smart. Props Disney. You know what you're doing. It's most of the time. So what are your favorite things to do when you're in the parks?
Ooh. I am a ride girl, but I do not like the lines of the ride. So most of the time I'll like make sure I'll like get a fast pass to try to do my favorite ride while I'm there. But now every time I go to Disney, it's more about meetups, like connecting with more people from the community and like spending time with them. And if we all decide to collectively do a ride, that will happen. If not, it's okay. Like to sit around, people watch, or try whatever new snack, crazy snack there is. I've been disappointed by a lot of the sweets, so I've tried to stay away from those. I'm like, ooh, that new like Mickey macaron looks really good, and then you try it and you're like, this is straight up sugar.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty, but it's all and you're like, yeah, why did I do that to myself? I got suckered in. It was a cute, like, Mickey shaped something. I'm a huge fan of anything Mickey shaped. So I'm like, they take my money when it comes to Mickey shape. And then I try it. I'm like, oh no, no, this is not good.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's a lot of sugar. They OD. They OD on the sugar out there. And to the point where I'm a little wary about what I give the kids because I know I may regret it later.
Now they'll be bouncing off the walls or they take a bite of Mickey's ear and they're like, okay,
Gone.
I'm getting on Incredicoaster again.
Exactly. I have a 3-year-old ask me for a Jack Jack cookie and
Yeah.
it's sweet. So like that's just how addictive it is. It's
Oh,
insane. But yeah, I feel you. I tried the corn on the cob. I
oh,
forgot what it's called.
yes. In DCA with the powdered Cheetos on it or
Yes, it was
yeah.
pretty good. It was pretty good. I give that to them. Like I didn't think it was gonna be as yummy as it was, but it was
It,
pretty good.
like, yeah, because it's very misleading. You see a new food item there, and all the foodies are like, this looks really pretty. And then you try it, and it's like, I'm so disappointed. But that one was good. So props to them for making something that was cute and good.
Right, for once, right? So yeah, I think the food definitely is better on your neck of the woods. Um, Disney World has good stuff, but I feel like Disneyland can play a little bit more with their food. Um, so I
Wow,
definitely
did you see how many churro options they have? Like, they're always releasing a new one. You're like, what can they do next? Lightsaber
let me
churros,
my
golden pixie dust churros.
my daughter went ham on the churros. Like she had at least 3 a day. And there was one day where I was like, okay, fine. You can have as many churros as you want. That's fine. We'll just do a churrothon. And she made it to almost 5.
Wow.
And then she was just like, because they had the Haunted Mansion churro, so they had a bride churro and a groom churro. And she kept talking about this bride churro. It was literally powdered sugar all over the
God.
churro. We got powdered sugar everywhere, but she was like, I need another bride churro. I mean,
Oh no.
I was like, you gotta wait till the end of the day because I'm not dealing with all this powdered sugar all day long.
It
It
gets
was
everywhere. It gets on your clothes, and then when you wipe it off, it just like wipes just a white streak on your clothes.
exactly.
Forget it.
But yeah, your churros are lit. That I will give that to you as well. You get the crown, you get it.
We're happy with that crown. We'll keep on the title.
Yes. So, do you have a favorite park?
My favorite park is
Hmm.
Disneyland, of course.
What's your favorite ride?
My favorite ride is Indiana Jones.
Mm. See, I did not get a chance to ride it.
Oh no.
That just means I have to come back. That's
You
all.
do.
I
Yeah,
def
growing up, that was my favorite. I loved like the thrill of it. And like now to me it's like it's still fairly fast, but I love those movies. I feel like it's one of Disney's most ambitious rides too, because you go in that ride and it really is like recreated scenes from that movie. Like it just like the way the Imagineers have like set up that ride, it's still the coolest to me.
awesome. Yeah, so we had a little bit of Indiana Jones fail because, like I told you, my daughter's 7. She can ride by herself. My little guy, nowhere near that, cannot ride. So she did a lot of rides by herself, or we would wait at the exit for her. And apparently, Indiana Jones was too hot for TV for her.
Oh,
And so she like got spooked and she like wanted to get off.
I can
So
imagine it's a scary ride. There's like one part towards the end there's like a giant snake and it like comes at you because Indiana Jones hates snakes.
right.
So it just like pops out at you. I'm like, I can't even imagine being a 7-year-old getting on that ride.
Yeah, I have never been on it, so I had no idea what to expect. I've only seen, the stage show at Hollywood Studios, and like I just some woman comes up to me with Kim and was like, is she your daughter? I was like, yeah, what happened? I felt
Oh
so bad. I mean, we were standing right there at the exit, so like she couldn't have missed us. But like the look of her face, she was just like, no, no, this is not for me, never again. And
yeah,
I felt so bad. I was like, oh no.
you didn't
So
know.
now we
And you don't know
know.
how other kids are gonna take it too, because some kids absolutely love that ride. They love like how dark it is inside and like how fast it goes. But I can like there's skeletons coming at you in that ride.
Oh wow. Yeah, now I know. Like she's not into haunted things or spooky things, but she loves thrill rides. Like she loves roller coasters, like those kind of attractions. But I honestly I didn't even know what to expect. I wasn't even thinking. That was a mom fail. I'll take that as a mom fail. I
No,
wasn't
it's
even
okay.
thinking.
You've never been on the ride.
Right, but now I know. But I probably should have thought like, it's probably gonna be spooky. Like I've seen Indiana Jones. It scared me as a kid. Like I was like, oh
Yeah.
hell no, you pulling out people's hearts? Nope. So yeah,
Even
next time.
the line queue for that ride is pretty cool too because you're going through a cave that's like all booby trapped
Oh,
essentially. So like there's just like a part there are like spikes on the ceiling.
so I think that's what happened. Like she didn't even make it through the queue.
Oh.
She got freaked out
That's most
there.
definitely because it's pretty dark and it is like a cave. Like you're walking through, you see all the rocks and stuff. But there's like we're in that room with the spikes. There's like a skeleton
Yeah.
that's like on one of the spikes.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what happened because she came out the way she came in. She didn't even come out through the exit. She came out from the entrance. So I think that's exactly what happened. Like, oh, now I know. Now I know. We had a great time otherwise, I promise. I
That's
promise.
I just went to Disneyland Paris this summer and they also have an Indiana Jones ride. And here I went expecting it to be like our Indiana Jones, but it's an outdoor roller coaster that's very like goofy Sky School.
Oh, okay.
But I did not know that's what I was getting myself. I didn't do my research. I was like, oh, I'm like, their Indiana Jones must be fabulous. I get there, I'm like, oh, it's just an outdoor roller coaster.
All right. So we definitely got to do Indiana Jones in Disneyland for sure. Okay. It's gonna happen. And I will hold my daughter's hand.
Next trip,
Yeah,
yes.
well, my next trip has to be kid free because there's so much I didn't get to do. So much. And I love them. I love my children, but I love Disney too, and I love the experience. So I definitely have to come by myself and like just get to know everything and enjoy myself. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout. I'll be out there soon, hopefully.
Yes. I'm excited.
So when did you start Disney bounding?
I had found I discovered Disneybounding when I was in high school, but I wasn't really going to the parks around that time. Like just growing up, Disney has always been, expensive, a luxury. I would only make it out to Disney for my birthday once a year. But around that time, I like really wasn't going to Disney at all. But I had heard, like, I was very into blogging on Tumblr and had seen like the Disneybound, and I like had seen all those like different outfits, and I would share them to like my best friend who's Disney obsessed too, and we were like, we just have to like recreate all these outfits. So it was like I like want to be like Lady Tremaine and like different characters. I was like, this is really cool. But my first Disney bound was I went to Dapper Day and hadn't seen how many times like people had Disney bounded, so I knew the next Dapper Day I'd go to, I would Disney bound. And I believe my first Disney bound was in 2015, I think, and I Disney bounded as Pascal. I was just like head to toe green.
Love it. Did you have a Rapunzel?
Yes, my best friend Glenn, he was like a gender bend of Rapunzel. So people were just like stopping us because, I was like gender bending Pascal. So like for like, oh, it's a like guy Rapunzel, and like people weren't really doing that at the time either. So he had like a fedora that he had like put like a Rapunzel braid on like top of the fedora. So you saw the braid like with the flowers, and then he was wearing like a floral vest. So it was very like clear that he was Rapunzel. And then you just have someone like in pure green. You're like, okay.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, I have yet to do a Dapper Day. I have to get out there. I love seeing all y'all looks at those events. It looks like such a fun time.
It is. I personally, I love vintage style, so I feel like it's the most extra I can be when I go. Like I save my best like 50s, or like if I have like a ball gown type dress, I'm like, yep, Dapper Day. This is where it's gonna be premiered at.
Yes, yes. I
It's really
cannot wait.
cool.
I cannot wait to see. Are you doing this year's Dapper Day?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna try to make it out, but nonetheless, I cannot wait to see what you come up with.
Please, that would be amazing. And it's just so cool because everyone gets into it, and like even people who aren't really into like vintage, they like really. I always say like you could wear any dress or not, just like come in like people watch and stuff because like people really like dedicate time to like coming out like in like beautiful dresses, and like the men in like really interesting two-piece suits, or they're just trying to dress up with their significant other, which is really cute too. Like they'll wear suspenders and bow ties and stuff. So it's just nice to see everyone like so glamorous and everyone like trying to participate. And I feel like that's the time I see like the most people from the community that are out because you don't really see them. Everyone goes on different days, but most people are going to be there for Dapper Day. So it's just really nice like to connect. I've like made the best friends because of Dapper Day.
Yeah, yeah. I love watching it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get it done.
Yes, and I know you'd kill it too.
Hope so. I have a couple of things that I would love to try. So, if I do make it out there, I really hope that it can happen.
Well, it's fun because you could play around like with different like outfits or patterns that you may not have like necessarily would worn out like on a normal day. Because I do believe like Disney Bound is something that you could pull it out of your closet and you could wear that to work. It's functional fashion. It's not you're just putting all these colors together. It's like something that's actually you have in your closet you could actually wear out to the mall or somewhere. So I feel like Dapper Day is that time you could really like play around with something you may not normally wear, or just be your most like fabulous self.
Yes, I love being extra. So Dapper Day is it. Do you have a particular bound that you would say is your favorite?
Since we've talked about my Mulan love, I had always wanted to bound as Mulan for the longest, but I felt like because she was my favorite character, that I had to do her justice if I was going to do her. So I just had looked around for. She wears a lot of different colors, so trying to like find things that like really matched hers, or things that I felt like kind of encapsulate. I really like to like kind of get the tone of that character when I Disney bound. So finally, one dapper day, had commissioned someone to make me a Mulan dress because at that point I was like so frustrated. I was like, I can't find it, but I know I really want to dress up like her. So I like had commissioned someone to make me a Mulan dress, and that dapper day, I had like done Mulan, and it's probably like one of my favorite dresses I own and bounds I've done to date because it means so much to me, and like getting to do her just like in a way that like I knew like it was like as close as I could to being her was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I'm sure it was amazing. I don't know if I've seen it. I have to look through your page and see.
It's an old one. Uh,
Okay.
it really
Okay.
is. I think I have it, but yeah, it's much older. I think I did that one 2017.
Okay.
Every, there's so many bounds though.
I feel like at some point, I mean, I guess Pinterest is good for that, but it's hard to kind of like keep track of all your looks at some point.
This is true. I do have to say last Dapper Day, in the spring I did Tiana, and that's
Oh,
really, like a close second. I had found that dress at a vintage store and saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, this dress isn't even real. Like that's another character. Like she's one of my favorites. I love Princess and the Frog, and I had always wanted to do Tiana, but didn't know how I was gonna do her. So that's like when you like to me, the harder characters are characters that you really admire.
yeah.
And you
Yeah, because
like,
you want to do it right.
yeah,
You can't like half-ass it. You want to get get it on 100%. I feel you. I feel you on that.
you can't just put it together. So I finding that dress at the vintage store, I was like, I have to do Tiana.
Yeah, I loved your Tiana. It was amazing.
Thank you. One of
And
my
I
favorites.
found Mulan,
Did
girl. You
you?
killed it.
Yes.
You killed it. Oh my God. With the parasol.
The
Oh my.
parasol. And that parasol, fun fact, I got that at Walt on my first Walt Disney World trip in Epcot in the
Hmm.
China Pavilion. And it actually has my name written in Chinese on the parasol.
Oh, that's amazing. And it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
I love those parasol stations. That was actually, I think that was my daughter's first souvenir. I don't know if it was really a parasol or umbrella, but like getting it, because her name is Japanese and the person doing the artwork on it was Japanese. So she wrote her name on the umbrella and like,
Oh,
I won't let her touch it.
that's amazing. And those are like those souvenirs are so like unique and they feel really personal.
I love it. So beautiful. You are one of the mods on Bounders of Color. Can you tell us a little bit about Bounders of Color and what it's all about?
Yeah, Bounders of Color was created by my friend Michelle, and she had created it around the time where the Disney Bound page wasn't super active. So this was, I'd say, 2 years ago, maybe almost three. And we had realized like that space to share like other bounds, especially bounders who are people of color, like we felt like there was not a place for them. Yeah, it just like really didn't feel like we were being included. So that's kind of where like Bounders of Color came about and like kind of filled that space that was missing, that we felt was missing. So shortly after she had created the page, she had been running it for a while, and it is really hard trying to find bounds and keep a page like active and like always like on, I guess, yeah, active, like just kind of running a page. So I had kind of expressed interest to her when she first started the page that I like really wanted to be a part of it in any way or any way I could support it. So eventually she like reached out to me and asked me to be a part of it and help her run the page. So I run it with her and Paula, the Hepburn movement.
Mhm.
And she's like one of my closest Disney friends. Also met her on my second Walt Disney World trip. in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So
So,
if I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna go out there for her.
yeah, for sure. So I found Boundaries of Color when I first joined Instagram, it's, I guess a year and a half ago. And that was like one of the first pages I was like, oh, okay, I love this. I gotta follow it. And yeah, I could tell that it was a little difficult to manage like both accounts. And then like I would follow the hashtag, and I don't think a lot of people knew about the hashtag as yet. So I would tag it like every time I would post
Oh my
something. And I would like tell people about it, like, yeah, it's the hashtag, you should definitely use it. And when it came back with like the full team, I was so excited to see that because I was like, yes, this is such a great concept. This is a great page. I can't wait to see it, bigger and bolder. And then when I saw you were a part of it, I was like, yay, I love it. One of my faves is
God.
running it. So yeah, of course I follow it religiously, and
Oh, that means so
I love what
much.
y'all are doing. I love it 100%. um, so what are some of your favorite Disney bounds that you have found through the Boundaries of Color network?
There's and it still is hard to get the word out for the page and like have people use it. We try to follow people who do use our hashtag, but most of the time I find myself like going just into anyone who's Disney bounded or like even when I'm at the parks, if I see someone who like has a bound, I'm like, do you follow our page? Or like, can I share you and stuff? And most of the time they're like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, okay, like it's usually a great opportunity to like meet new people and like connect. But when it comes to finding Disney bounds, there's so many amazing ones. How do I like not mention you?
You can scroll, you can
Oh my
scroll.
gosh.
Well, what I love particularly about Boundaries of Color is there are a lot of different groups, out there, and you guys do a good job of showcasing a broad spectrum of other ethnicities. And so sometimes I love my Black community. I go heavy on my Disblurds, but I love seeing the artistry and the beauty of all types of bounders, and especially from the Latino community and from the Asian community. And I kind of turn to your page a lot of the times to find other accounts to follow,
Yeah.
because I don't necessarily know what hashtags to follow for other ethnicities. So that's what I love the most about your page, that you guys do spread the love very well. So just my
Well,
point.
that's the goal to
Yeah.
spread, because we're all out here and there are like wonderful other like people of color run pages and like Black Girl Disney, stuff like that. So it's nice to kind of like cover all bases
Hmm.
of like different people and like share people who aren't getting as much love. I think one of my favorite bounds is by HP Disney. Well, I'm gonna say it right.
Oh,
HP Diz Jedi,
yes,
and
yes.
he did this Edna Mode bound, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. And it was like
and
Billy
he combined
Porter-esque.
it with Billy Porter, so he like has like that massive skirt. I like to me like I love a high fashion moment.
Yeah.
So that one is probably like one of my favorites of all time. Like, and it's also a mix of like Disney style too. So I like the like combination of like yeah, you're bounding, but also like kind of repping your style.
Yeah, he's a really great Disney bounder as well. I like following his stuff also. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know why some really great Disney bounders don't get the love or attention. I know it's all an algorithm, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But
Wait, run your page, yada
right,
yada.
right. But I mean, that's what I think these like curated pages, why they're important, because there's a lot of beautiful art out there. There's a lot of beautiful creators out there. There's a lot of inspiration out there that might not necessarily get the shine or get the attention that they deserve because of, for whatever reason, they're not using the right hashtags, they're not using the right algorithms, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but like when they're curated pages like Boundaries of Color, you get to see things that you might not necessarily see on your feed. or that you weren't even privy to following. And that's what I love.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
like there are even like the little kid bounders that I've found before. Like I'm like, how are you dressing up your baby like that? Like
yeah.
so those are really fun to find too, like because you don't really see like a lot of those like kids pages or
Hmm.
like if you do, like they're harder to find depending on like the way their parents want to run their pages and stuff like that. So sometimes I've found like kid Disney bounders because of that.
Yeah, the kids are amazing. And I totally get it because sometimes I'm a little worried about how much I want to expose my child to the internet. But I love seeing when the kids get dressed up and like the whole family's in on it. I mean, I
Oh, I
think it's
love when the whole
so
family gets in
clever.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, I get it. I get it that it's hard to expose your child, all the time. And but for like a creative outlet like Disney bounding, like my children, they enjoy it. They they are not into the pictures at all. Like
Oh,
they just like to dress up and feel like the character. So if they can dress
yeah.
up and like act out the movie or, go to a ride and feel like they're part of the whole experience, that's what they love. But to stop and smile, it's not really going to happen most of the time. So, I mean, that's what I love about Disney Bound because you really get immersed into the experience when you dress up and kind of like take on that character. And like the kids really love it most. Yeah.
Aw, that makes me happy. I love when you dress up with your kids, like the bound of you and your daughter when you're doing Beyonce, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
she's like right next to you.
Yeah, she loves that. She asked us to do it again for Comic-Con, so I think we might do that one. And Anika Nani Rose is going to be there, so I think it's worth doing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my favorite mommy and daughter duo is the Dalai Lama. If
Oh,
you've
yes.
seen her bounds with her daughter August, those are
Yes.
just so cute. She has one with her and she's Stitch, and then her daughter's Lilo, and just like looking really sassy, like Lilo would look.
Yeah. That's so cute. I
So
like Dapper on the Daily. She has some great
yes.
looks.
With her sons,
Yes.
most of the outfits she makes herself. Like when they did the celebration Mickey with his birthday suit,
Yeah.
she made those for her sons. She was like felt on to have like the confetti on their jackets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someday. I'm not quite at that level yet.
The
I bought a sewing
dedication.
machine. Yeah. I still haven't really knocked out this sewing thing. It's so scary to me. I know it's not that bad, but it just seems overwhelming.
I started figuring out how to use a sewing machine, but all I can sew is a skirt, and that's about it.
Well, that's something. That is
Yeah.
something. That's more than I can. I can maybe hem a skirt. Probably
It
not.
takes practice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Also like I think her name is Three Baby Koi. I think she's based in the West Coast. She has some really great outfits, and I feel like she also makes some of them. There's just a lot of really great like family
Oh,
founders.
and it's just so cool to see like everyone get together and see like what characters they are, and like when you see like the kids just get really into it, it's super
Yeah.
heartwarming.
I mean, when they actually have kids that are willing to pose, I'm like, did y'all feed them sugar? What did you get? What did
You
you
had to
bribe them
convince
for?
them.
But I get it.
I
They don't get to be in the parks as much. They're there to experience the Disney magic, not to like make content. So I can't blame them. So, what do you love the most about Disney bounding in general and the Bounders of Color movement?
what I love most about Disney bounding is being able to express myself. We love Disney because it kind of like gives us a little nostalgia and just like almost like Peter Pan syndrome. We don't want to grow up, but like just kind of an ode to like how we felt as kids and like being able to kind of just like dress up as your favorite characters and like really like capture that magic again. And I love like writing bounders of colors, but also like kind of searching for new bounders because I like seeing like what their interpretation is going to be. And I know that sometimes there's not a love for like little Disney bounders sometimes, or like some of them are harder to find. So it's nice to find new people and see like how they put a spin on it and like getting to see them like be happy, but also like expressing themselves and whatever character, and kind of even reading the captions like really takes it home for me, like kind of reading about like where they found an item. Like sometimes you'll never know like what Goodwill you went to, or like trying to find like that perfect piece, or hearing that they just found it on Amazon and you're like, oh, okay, I could look on Amazon too and find that like perfect headband or like belt and stuff. So I think I love like the time and effort that like goes into Disney bounding.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's the thrill of the chase almost.
Yeah.
Trying to put that look together, find the right color scheme or, find the right accessory. It's the feeling you get when it comes together is like none other. So I'm totally there for that. Do you feel like, because you've been in the Disney bound community for a long time, do you feel like there is a lot of diversity there? Do you think that, there is a good exposure for people of color in the Disney bounding space?
I'd say that the most diversity I see is in the Disney bounding community. I've seen people of all shapes and sizes and colors. Like, it's like I said, it's the fun of like dressing up as like your favorite character. And I feel it's the most accessible as well because I truly believe you can go into your closet and make a Disney bound right now. Like, I could choose a pair of jeans, and if I have a blue shirt, I could be Jeannie, and like, so I do feel like it's more accessible for other people because we know that our Disney hobby is very expensive and it is not the most attainable for people, and it is a privilege to go to Disney. So Disney bounding, you can do that anywhere. And that's what I love about it too. Seeing people from like different countries Disney bound is amazing. I've met some amazing Disney bounders in London. Like, and they'll just Disney bound, like they'll go to the museum and Disney bound outside as like a princess, and they'll be like, "This museum reminds me of Rapunzel." That's one of my Disney bound friends, Miss Mouse. She like Disney bounds at like different museums and stuff, and that's really cool because she can't always make it out to the parks while she's in England, so she just like Disney bounds anywhere. So that's I do feel like it is very diverse, and when it comes to like having more exposure, I feel like it's gotten better for Disney bounders. The Disney Bound does a really great job of like showcasing and being active and like sharing like different types of people. I've found a lot of bounders because of that too. I mean, you just saw the Disney style video that I was just
Yeah.
in, which was awesome because all of the people I was in the video with were women of color. And that just like, I looked around the room and like I could not have like that like indescribable feeling of like being around like just a group of like sisters and like people who like have this like Disney passion, and we're like getting an opportunity to kind of like showcase ourselves and our families in the process. So I do feel like that is diverse. I will say when it comes to like more Disney style, that stuff, I do feel like there's like a lack in diversity there, or like certain Disney licensed companies, stuff like seeing like different color models or sizes and stuff like that. I do feel like that is still like severely lacking, especially when it comes to certain products. Not everyone can buy like the newest pair of like Mickey ears. Yeah, ears are expensive. I love them. But like you can't buy the newest ones, and unfortunately it seems like if you have like the new pair of ears and you're like the first ones to post them, it seems like you like often are like getting showcased first because you have like the newest item. And I'm like, to me, like you can share your love of Disney like anyway. It doesn't matter what new product or whatever. You're just sharing like your love of the fandom. So I don't think it's as as representative of like our crazy community.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Disney bound community it may possibly be the most inclusive community out there for Disney fandom. I mean, the movies are starting to get there. Finding park content. I mean, I feel like Disney is trying to make an effort, but I guess it's a process. And, Disney style, I think they've been dragged a lot. But I mean, it is true. Like, they somehow they're kind of like at the back of the pack for some reason. I don't know what it is, but like when I saw the video of you and the other Disney bounders, I my heart was like bursting. I loved every moment of it. I mean, the that whole crew, it was five of you. The five of you
Hmm.
were like goals, first of all. Like Disney Bounders, I absolutely love. And I was just like, wow, they're getting showcased. I'm so happy. I'm so excited about that. And so I definitely tip my hat to Disney Style for making that effort in that direction. Um, and so, I mean, I guess it is a process. I think, they're slowly getting there, they're slowly figuring it out. But I mean, I feel like we should still continue just to do our thing. And if we get noticed, we get noticed. But the fact that the community is finding each other and building in that sense is what I love the most. So I know a lot of, these other outlets and pages can boost that, but until they do, let's just have fun with each other. That's how I
Yeah. No,
feel.
and just like, connect and like make you friends. And I've definitely met new people that because of the page or just finding new people and like kind of bringing them in, like this is a space for everyone and there will always be a place for you here.
Yeah, 100%. So, do you have a favorite Disney moment or memory?
Well, since we're talking about that video, like it was an amazing opportunity to be asked by Disney Style to be in a video, but it was even better to do it with my mom. My mom's the one who introduced me to Disney, and we've always shared that love of Disney together by like going to see the movies and going to parks when we can. And she has always known that I've Disney bounded, and sometimes she'll approve my outfit. She'll be like, "Okay, what character are you today?" But this it was the first time her actually getting to do it with me and kind of seeing like meeting other people from the community and kind of like getting to do it herself. She like really realized she's like, "Oh, this is why you love to Disney bound and this is why you love to go to Disney." Like she's like, "I see it now." She's like, like looked at me when we were on set. She's like, "I get it." And
Oh.
like that was just like a really beautiful moment to have with her and get to do that with her. Like I, I still can't believe like we got to do that together because that's a moment we could always share and like look back on or rewatch the video and be like, "Mom, remember when we did that?" Like, so getting to share it with her, like I consider her my best friend, so it's just
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And I loved that part in the video when she was like, "Yeah, okay, I get it." And
Yeah.
you may have just converted me. Like, isn't that the best feeling ever? Like the
Yeah.
bond that moment must have created was probably so beautiful. It was beautiful to watch, so I loved
Yeah,
it.
no, there was not, I will say, like on set, there was not a dry eye in the house. Like, just anytime she'd open her mouth, like, I'd look at like Alana from Disney Style and she'd be like tearing up.
Oh, but it is beautiful because I mean, just in general, sometimes people don't get it. They don't get Disney fans. They don't get Disney bounders. Sometimes they just don't understand it. But the fact to like actually walk through it and experience it and then to understand it, like that's all you ask. Walk, a couple steps
Yeah,
in my shoes and understand why I love it before you like, make a judgment or think twice about what I'm into. And so I think it was beautiful. And it was maybe a moment for people to realize, oh, maybe if I tried it, I would actually get it. So
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I think everything about that video was just amazing. So I'm so happy you guys had that opportunity and experience to have together.
Oh, same. I'm like, I could cry just thinking about it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting to do that with her. And now I feel like we might have converted her, so she might Disney bound with me more often.
Maybe have a little friend for Dapper Day this year.
She's gone to Dapper Day with me once. And she went with me last year,
Okay.
last fall Dapper Day. But she only did the expo because I kept telling her about the expo, and she loves to shop. I mean, this is where I get my shopaholicness from. So she's like, I want to see the expo. I want to see the vendors and stuff. So I took her to the expo, and she loved that. So she like got to see that around. She didn't Disney bound. She wore a vintage two-piece outfit that I found her at a thrift store.
Mm,
But it's just like getting to take her to Dapper Day was really fun. So maybe
yeah.
this time she'd actually want to like full out dress up because she's like, I don't know if I want to wear like a full dress and like flats and cardigans and stuff like that, or do my hair. I was like, okay, mom.
Do it. Do it. Awesome. So we're wrapping up soon. This has been beautiful. I had such a good time talking to you.
No, thanks for having me on. I could probably talk to you about Disney for hours.
Yes, yes, and we have to make a date for that for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. But what is one thing about yourself that you would like everyone to know?
Something that a lot of people don't know about me is I'm actually going to film school. I have a really huge passion for film, and if you've seen some of my Disney bounds, I'm inspired by like old classic Hollywood, like Audrey Hepburn. I've done like some mashups of those, or if I'm watching a movie, I'll try to figure out like if I could tie in that like movie with that Disney bound. So I love doing that. And my goal is like to someday like write films for like that highlight like people of color because like to me like the reason we're not seen is because we don't have like those people who are like helming those projects, and I see it firsthand. I work in costumes in the film industry. So I do see how the reason we're not seeing representation is those people like behind the camera are most of the time not people of color. And so how are they able to tell our stories from like our perspective, you know? So I do feel like there's a lack in those people, like women writers, directors, all of that. There's just a huge disparity. 9% of directors are women, and that's crazy.
Wow. And to think
So,
like so many films are about women.
yeah.
Right.
And we just make up a huge audience of like film goers. We're the ones who are paying to see these movies. So if we want to see them, you know, we have to get more stories about us. And
Yeah.
like that's just always been my goal to just highlight people of color because I've grown up with that like experience of kind of being a mixed kid and like never feeling like I could fit into anyone's space. So like trying to figure out like a way to kind of like highlight that experience is like that's my only goal.
You got to make your own space. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if you build it, we will come because that's people are dying for this. They're really hungry to see themselves, to, have the experiences, be shown, to share, to relate to things. And so more power to you. All the best. I wish you all the luck. When you release your first film, let me know. We're gonna do a little meet
I,
up. We're gonna buy out that theater. We're gonna have an
yeah.
after party. It's gonna be lit. So I'm all here for it. I encourage you 100% to keep pushing for your goals. Cannot wait. If you need some child actors, I'll loan out my children for you.
Okay. They could be in my student films.
Yes, for sure. We'll relocate just for your films. But for real, all the best and wish you all, all not even the luck, wish you all the good energy for your goals and endeavors because you can do it for sure. I see
Thank
it in
you.
you.
I appreciate it.
So, Felicia, this has been beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me.
I'm so
Um,
glad we could do it.
yes, really. I mean, I really enjoyed meeting you at the meetup. Thank you for coming out. It was so beautiful just to spend time with you and to get to know you better and now to talk
Oh,
to
it
you.
was yeah, it was my goal. I had to see you. You're
Yes.
hosting that meetup. It was just like so awesome to just like see all those like beautiful people in one space. And that never happens. You never get to do that. So it was just thank you for hosting it and like getting us all together.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it so much. And I hope to do more in the future. So I'll let you know. I'll have a reason for you to come out to the East Coast.
Yes,
If
please.
you do have a meetup, I will be there and whatever I'm planning on wearing. I'm gonna figure it out soon. Time's a ticking, right? We got like what 2 months,
It's
but
in your closet. I know it is.
hopefully, I should be by now. Lord knows. What up a mask by now. But if people want to get to know more about you and Boundaries of Color, where can they find you?
So I've just my original username that I've just switched back to is at Becoming Felicity on Instagram and Boundaries of Color on Instagram. And then I also have a YouTube channel. It hasn't gotten a lot of love lately, but I've been filming tons of videos this summer and I'm hoping to get those up. So that YouTube channel is Poof with an exclamation point at the end. And we're trying to keep that going and like trying to be more active with it because we are also trying to highlight people of color on our like YouTube channel and also trying to like film new things where we like try to like share more park days and kind of like share more voices of the community. So hope to get that up soon, but you could find that, like I said, on YouTube or there's a link on my Instagram bio for it.
Yes, and I've scrolled through it a little bit, the poof page, and I was like, this is so cool. I love this concept. So I'll be ready. Once you drop your next video, let me know because I can't wait to
Yes, definitely.
check it
And we have
out.
all types of things. We got covers on there and also me just like running around the parks trying to meet characters because that's the other fun part of bounding is like doing those character meet and greets when you're dressed up as the character and seeing them kind of like freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I love it. Definitely. So thank you once again. I really appreciate the time you spent talking to me. I will definitely link all of your info in the show notes so that everyone can check out what you have and your beautiful bounds and the beautiful
Aw,
community that you've
shucks.
created. And thank you again.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You've just heard my conversation with Felicia. If you haven't seen the Disney style video featuring her and her mother, it is a definite must-see. I've linked it in the show notes so you all can check it out. And just a friendly PSA, keep some tissues handy while you watch. The POC-owned small business for this episode is Yumi's Art Box. It is a shop owned by Yumi Fujimoto that sells custom and hand-painted art on Disney clothing and accessories. Check out her stuff at etsy.com/shop/Yumi's Art Box. And as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with all of your friends. And also be sure to join the Afros and Pixie Dust Facebook group so we can chat more about one of my favorite topics, Disneybounding. So until next time, never stop deep conditioning or pursuing your happiness.